Matters. Thank you for joining me today. I just wanted to apologize and thank you guys for your patience. I was not here for the last 2 weeks, and I am very grateful for everybody who called and messaged to see how I was. But here I am back. And today I have my special guest, Mandy. Mandy Johnson is a mentor, a life coach, an entrepreneur, all at the tender age of 26. And one of the things that I have to say, because she wrote it, and it's obviously of great importance to her, is that she is a believer in Christ.
Yes.
So her business, her life, and her model are all based on her faith. Mandy and I connected through social media, and her energy and her enthusiasm to share what she does and how she got here was overwhelming, and I had to have her on the show. So welcome, Mandy.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. So Mandy, I want you, now today the show is about overcoming, using what you've been through to get you further, to get you to where you need to be now, and how to live a positive life. Now, I like to ask questions, so there's a lot of definitions I'm going to ask Mandy for, because different people have different ideas of what a positive life is. But Mandy's going to share with us a situation that she was placed in, which she didn't feel was warranted or deserved, but yet she was there, and how she overcame it, how she went through it, and where she is today. So Mandy, as I said, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us, Mandy, tell us about your journey. Tell us, first of all, what do you do? What is your goal right now? What is your job?
So, Erica, you said it perfectly. My name is Mandy Johnson, and I am a mentor, motivational speaker, and a life coach. I'm currently using my experience to help others get through difficult and trying situations, because I am a strong believer that you can get through any situation you are placed in, regardless if you got there on your own or you were placed there without you placing your own self there. So I'm here just to, give love to everyone and have everyone know that they can get through anything that they're going through.
I believe that too. I think that with the right tools,
yes,
and the right support, we can get through anything.
Yes.
So Mandy, tell me a bit about your story. What was the trial and the tribulation that brought you to where you are today?
My trial, my tribulation, not an easy one, but like Erica said, I am a firm believer. With God, all things are possible. So I am currently married. I love my husband so much. Hi, babe. So we had to go through a tough situation. Where there was a lot of, just unfaithfulness, where it caused a child to come in to being. So that is obviously, like I said, a situation that I did not place myself in. However, I had no choice but to go through it. And by the grace of the Almighty God, here I am standing very strong, genuinely happy, promoting love, promoting marriages, because I know that with Christ in the vessel, you can smile at any storm and you can still get through it. Your marriage can always be saved. So I am here just to tell all of the women, don't give up. Keep fighting for what is rightfully yours. And through your pain, you will always birth strength.
Amazing. So 26. Now we have a lot of people, 26, I guess it depends on your opinion and what side you fall on.
Right.
Some people will say 26 is young to be married.
Yes.
From generation to generation, it's changed dramatically, and in a very short time, because now, oftentimes, people are not getting married, or getting married much, much later in life.
Yes.
At 26, people are often still at home. They're still getting their educations, whereas even just a generation ago, at 26, my mother left the country she was born in at 18 and came to Canada and established a whole new life by the time she was 19. So in a very short amount of time, the way we look at adulthood even, and when to start relationships and families, has changed dramatically. I've had friends who have 3 kids. I have 3 children myself, and people are like, wow, that's a lot of children. My mother's one of 11.
Wow. And
And that was kind of normal. 7 to 11 kids in a house, that was normal. So things have changed a lot. So to hear that at a young age you're married and also have been through such a turbulent thing. So you talk about infidelity, right? And this infidelity led to having what is the term that people like to use? I think it's the outside child they call them. um, that's which is, when you think about the fact that these are human beings, it's very interesting that they're labeled this way. But your a husband had a child out of your wedlock,
Right.
and what did you? How did you get through? What were the tools that you used to get through this?
Fasting, prayer, lots of family, lots of friends. Definitely just God. God. And that's the reason why I go back to saying again, through my pain, I birthed strength. I never knew how strong I was until I went through my situation. And having my family members and my friends with me, continuing to fast and pray, I'm here now. Here I am.
Very interesting. I'm going to actually, we're going to segue a little bit because you mentioned one of the tools that you use, which is
Yes.
fasting.
Yes.
And very interestingly enough, if you follow me online, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, what you are going to see tomorrow is me inviting other people to join me on my fast.
Nice.
And this is something I discovered maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And at first, it seemed like the most ludicrous idea I'd ever heard in my life. And I think most people who have never done it or haven't read up on it, it sounds very silly to go without food. But one of the things that fasting does for you, believe it or not, it gives you such mental clarity.
Yes.
Things become crystal clear.
Yes.
And I mean, there's a lot of, like, there's the Daniel fast, which is biblically based. There are water fasts. There are different kinds. There are people do intermittent fasting. But if you find yourself in a situation of turmoil and you feel that you can't think and you feel that you can't get through, the elimination of food, it is amazing how much food takes up of our day.
Yes.
From thinking about what you're going to eat. I mean, come on, think about it. How much of your time do you spend thinking about what am I going to eat? What's for dinner? What's for breakfast? What's for this? What's for that?
Yes.
And then you go and you have to get it and you have to prepare it and then you eat. So it really takes up far more brain space than you would ever believe. And something else that I realized with my first big fast, and I did the master cleanse and I did not consume any solids for 9 days, and people were like, what? And quite honestly, when I had to break my fast, it was an annoyance. I had to figure out what to eat again. I had to make it and I had to eat it. And I mean, you do have to eat eventually, but the clarity that comes to you and the energy that you have, again, something that sounds very contradictory, right? You don't eat, you have energy, but you do. Am I lying?
You do. You do have energy.
You have so much more energy.
Yes,
So
yes.
that there you go. In the first segment, we've given you one tool that is tremendously powerful, whether it's religiously based or it's for your health or whatever it is. Really, really look into it, read up on it. Do not just go cold turkey and stop eating now.
Right.
Take the time, do some research. You can message me and try a fast. You would be amazed at how much you clear in your physically.
Yes.
Really gives your whole digestive system a break.
Yes. Yes.
But then also too mentally. And so, what kind of fast did you do, Mandy?
So I just did a regular fasting. So I would fast from 6 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon. That was my half day. Or I would go from 6 in the morning until 6 in the evening. And that just concluded of me just, dedicating my whole entire life, my whole being to Christ. So I just segregated myself from everyone else and just had that alone time with God. Because I'm like, there's nobody else that can get me through any situation but you. And in order for me to get through my situation, I have to have you holding my hand. I have to have you directing me where to go. And I can only do that when I am secluded to only hearing your voice. So that is exactly what I did. And it was powerful and it worked. Here I am.
Okay, so when we come back from this break, I'd like to talk to Mandy about a bit more about what she's been through and how she got through it. But then obviously too, which I'm sure, and if you have questions, there's a phone number. You can give us a call. You can also message us on Facebook if there's a question that you have or a comment you would like to make. But I'd also like to obviously ask about the other person involved. I mean, like you said, this is not a situation that you put yourself in. So we'll have to talk about that reconciliation when we come back from this break.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters, and today I am here with Mandy Mentors, who is sharing her story of the trials and tribulations she went through, how she got through them, and she's sharing what she's been through with you in hopes that she can help, and that's what we're here for. So before the break, Mandy told us what she does, and give us a little recap, Mandy.
Yes, Mandy Mentors, mentor, motivational speaker, and life coach.
And Mandy shared with us a very personal story that interestingly enough, for some people, they wouldn't even be willing to share. Mm-hmm. And that's a theme that I find, especially with women, is that when things are done, quote unquote, to us, mm-hmm. we carry the shame.
Yes.
So you have women who are abused and they're ashamed. Mm-hmm. You have women who've been cheated on and they're ashamed.
Yeah.
And it's just very interesting how we internalize the negative that has happened to us, mm-hmm. and almost make it our fault.
Right.
So that's very interesting. So, I mean, without, there's certain things that obviously are extremely personal.
Yes.
But
yes.
How did you come about to find out?
How I found out. I actually, like I said, I fast and I pray, and I do have a very, very close relationship with God. He's my best friend. And I actually went to my bed one night and I had a dream. And then I'm like, no way. And then I went to my bed again the second night and I had the exact same dream. And I said, no way again. And then the third time I had a dream again, the exact same dream. And I said, okay, no. We all know that 3 times is confirmation. Something's up. So I asked my husband about it, and he was just very honest. He was very honest, and then took the necessary steps to find out if this was actually true, and then it turned out to be true. Mm-hmm. So that's how I found out.
So that's how you found out.
Yes.
Now, do you have a relationship with this child?
I try to.
Yes.
I try to. The child does not live within this country, so it's a bit difficult.
Okay,
If it was within the same country, then absolutely 100%, because at the end of the day, a child is always innocent. They never asked to be here. Mm-hmm. So you should never have an issue or any animosity against the child. But the child is overseas, so obviously the communication and relationship is definitely difficult, but in the future, depending on how things work out, if we all end up in the same place, then absolutely there will be a relationship if God says yes.
That is amazing. And again, that's a testament to who you are.
Yes.
And your true value system and what really matters, because oftentimes people will say, see, what matters? Oftentimes people will say, oh, I believe this, or this is what I do. But then when they're faced with something so personal, and, some women would call it almost insulting or embarrassing or whatever, that value chart shifts.
Yes.
And as you said, I am also a very strong believer in that. I believe in making sure that the children, they're not the ones who suffer, because as adults we make decisions, we make choices,
right.
And they just show up. right?
Exactly.
And they come into the world not of their own
Yes.
desire or
Yes,
doing,
yes.
and the people there should really value them.
Yes.
And you're of Caribbean descent also, too. I
Yes.
love the lilt in your voice. And that's something that's very, very strong in my community, is that a lot of times you'll have couples that live in this country, and the father or the mother the father or the mother have a child in their home country.
Yes.
And oftentimes when it was the husband, the wife is the one petitioning for the child to come.
Absolutely.
She's the one that's signing the papers and literally pushing him, go get your kid, go pick up your picnic,
Yes.
get him here. You know, they could have a better life. So I come from people who often are, you know, this idea of co-parenting in the village and
Yes.
aunties and so forth, that's very much, in a way, a lot of us were raised. Even knowing that back home, you know, as I speak to the elders that we have, finding out that, oh, well, yeah, I live down the street with my aunt. And I'm like, what? You know, and I'm like, but why? Your mother lived down the street, it's just full. You know, the house was full, so I just went to live with my aunt. And that really was that communal way
Yes.
of raising children. So I commend you for having
you.
that heart
Thank you.
to say that, you know what, presented with the opportunity, that's what you would do, because
Absolutely.
family is family,
Absolutely.
right? And we don't choose our family.
Absolutely.
That's the irony
Yes.
of it, right?
Yes.
So that's the irony of it. So one of the things that you mentioned is the healing. Now you spoke about, you know, obviously it was your intuition,
Yeah.
kind of a divine sign letting you know that something was going on. And like a lot of us, when we say, you know, Lord, give us a sign, he'll give us one, we're like, no, not that one.
Yes. Yes.
Not that one.
Yes.
Try again. Get me another sign. That's not what I asked you. And he'll give it back to you, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, not that one. And finally, you accepted that.
Yes.
Now, that is how you discovered, and you said to overcome it was prayer, it was support circles. They're so important. And for those of you out there, I say that all the time, I'm kind of like a friendship matchmaker. That's one of the things that I love to do. I'll meet people and I see them like, oh my goodness, so-and-so would just love you. And I try to connect them because we all need people.
Yes.
And one of the things that I've discovered as I've gotten older is how lonely adults are. Right? Like after school, after you finish your high school and your college, that's where you make most of your friends, right?
That's very
Then you get into a job, you may get married, and the opportunities to meet people shrink. And then as you get older, you lose friendships, you know, through either through just growing apart, different values or whatever. So what I've come to discover is that there are a lot of adults, especially adult women, that are very lonely. And I've been discovering too a lot of adult males that are lonely and they want friendship, but then, you know, it's not like back in the day with the sandbox where you go, can you want to play with me? I actually still do that, guys, and that's why I have so many friends. I am shameless. I am completely shameless. I go up to people, I see beautiful people, I feel auras, I feel energy, and I'm like, hi, I'm Erica.
Yes.
What's your name?
That's
and
so me.
I just make friends, but not everyone's like that. And the fact that you have a support circle and you have a family that was able to be there for you, it made all the difference.
It did.
Because they carry you when you can't carry yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But for those of you out there that are like, well, I don't have friends and I don't have people like that, you have to find them.
Yes.
You have to reach out. You have to connect. You have to be open
Yes.
to wanting them and let it be known, you know, as we talk about talking to the universe a lot, talking to God. Some people, those who are not religious will say you're speaking to the universe, speaking to creation.
Right,
But you are putting it out there. Our words have power.
Absolutely.
And so one of the powers that you used was the power of your prayer
Yes.
in your words, right?
Yes.
And then with the regulation of that self-discipline of fasting and focusing on being connected to something higher to help you get through.
Right,
Now,
right.
is this something that your husband did with you?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that makes a big difference.
Yeah, because if not, you'd be in a relationship with yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because sometimes you hear stories like this, and this is why I'm getting to this. You know, I'm not like a shock talk show host where I'm gonna like, bombard her with uncomfortable questions. But this is where I was kind of easing into.
Yes.
Because you talk about, your forgiveness and your light. And honestly, if you can't feel it through your screen, I'll tell you that the yellow is perfectly indicative of her light.
It is.
Her shine.
Yes.
And sometimes though you find people that are like this, but they're kind of delusional. And they forgave themselves and they forgave someone who's not looking for forgiveness and he don't care really. But the fact that your husband went through this process with you and seeking forgiveness and seeking reconciliation.
Exactly.
So how did you talk about how to heal?
Yes. Yes.
And it's such a broad question, I feel. It's such a broad question, like saying, well, how did you heal? But if you can, because we're going to get waved at soon, but if you can tell us a bit of the healing process, was there a point where you thought that you couldn't do it?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
And that was almost all the time.
Really?
Yes, almost all the time, because it is not, as people would say, an easy pill to swallow. This is something that is in your face every single day. So one day you'll be fine. Oh, I got this. I'm healed. And then the next day you're like, oh, there it is. We got a problem. Then the next day you're like, oh yeah, I'm good. And then the same thing happens all over again. But definitely the answer, if I was to sum everything up in regards to how I healed, would have to be time. It would have to be time.
Yeah, there it is. And I love the truthfulness of that answer. Here's a great cliche for you: time heals all wounds. And it's the truth.
True. Yes.
It is the truth. There are some things that no one set of words or actions can make them better, but it's the scar or the scab fading or healing that drives you forward. But as you attempted to go through this, you had the very person who had hurt you trying to help.
Exactly.
So that, I know from my own experience, that makes a tremendous difference.
100%.
So we are halfway through. I told you it's not that scary. We are halfway through, and when we come back, we are going to talk about using what you've been through for good. How do you take negative experiences and these things that happen to you and turn them into something good, like a whole mentoring business? How does that happen? So we'll be right back after this break.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters, and I'm here today with Mandy Mentors, who is sharing her personal story of difficulties but triumph.
Yes.
Getting through hard things, getting through the things that often decimate relationships and individuals, ruins trust, and it takes away your self-esteem as well, right?
Sometimes.
It can.
Some parts, yes, it can.
It can, it makes you question a lot of things.
Yes,
I think that we often will start comparing ourselves to other people and other things and our ideals and so forth. And so to be able to come through that and and feel strong and positive
Yes.
that it's not just a band-aid, but it was fixed.
Yes.
Right? And sometimes, and I'll often say to people, sometimes when we're cleaning up is when we make the biggest mess, right?
Yes.
Have you ever cleaned out a closet in your home? The house
yes.
looked fine before you started.
Yeah.
And then it would be like somebody would walk back in and go, "But Mandy, I thought you said you were cleaning today."
I'm like, oh, I
And
was.
Yeah, I am. And I had to pull everything out of the closet
I had to start again.
and start again. And so that's kind of what you had to do in this situation.
Yes.
So you talked a little bit about how to heal. And in summary, I'm sorry, guys, we don't have a magic formula. It's time.
Yes.
But the thing is, it's the passage of time, what you do during that time.
Right.
The things you say to yourself, your affirmations. And again, for the people who say, okay, well, you know what, I'm not religious, that doesn't apply to me. It's very interesting that if you even read something like The Secret, as soon as I read it, I knew what it was. I'm like, they just took the word God and replaced it with universe. Really, when you think, if you read the book, go back and read it. If you've read it before, now that I've said that, you will see that I'm absolutely right. And affirmations and prayers are very similar because they are the articulation of desire. They are gratitude as well.
Yes.
I remember growing up in church and being told, well, you don't always pray to ask for stuff. You're supposed to say thank you.
Thank
Sometimes it's just supposed to be a thank you.
Absolutely.
And that's what you hear in all the New Age circles about the gratitude journals and giving gratitude and realizing what you have. And, the idea of, is your cup half empty or half full? But sometimes you just have to realize you have a cup.
Yes.
You have a cup.
Yes.
You can go fill it. You can empty it.
Yeah.
You have a cup. So worrying about the full and the not. And that's what you did with your marriage. You just, okay, I have a husband. I love him. This is bad.
Yes.
But we're going to fix it.
Yes.
And so in terms of his healing now, I'm sure that one of the things were your forgiveness.
Yes, absolutely.
And how did you navigate that?
It's never easy to forgive. It's never easy. But as a woman of God, you know that it is a must. And in order for you to be healed, in order for you to go forward and be genuinely happy, you have to let go and you have to forgive. I often tell people that when you're forgiving, you're not forgiving for them, because sometimes they don't even care. And sometimes they're not even sorry.
Yep.
But when you forgive, you're setting your own self free. So how I navigated that was the same thing. Just trusting God, asking Him to help me, because on my own, I could have never done it. But through His word, it says, forgive 70 times 7. You're like, that's so
I don't know
hard.
about all of that.
How do I do that? Why? But it has to be done. And the word of God is a compass. It directs us and tells us exactly where to go, how to live, what to do, what not to do. It helps you heal. It fixes things. And that was my weapon.
That was
my weapon.
And I really like what you said, because if Andrew, if you're watching the episode, see the forgiveness theme, it stands true. And once you understand that forgiving people has nothing to do with them,
yes,
it's not about them. It's about releasing yourself from those feelings. Anger is the poison that corrodes the vessel in which it's contained. You could spend your life being mad at somebody and they don't even know, or they know and they don't care.
And they don't care. Exactly.
It is possible to give people who've passed on. It is possible to forgive people you have absolutely no contact with.
Yes.
The forgiveness is about the release of your own demons, really.
That's the real test.
That's the real test. And it's also, too, a testament to your love of self.
Yes. Yes.
Right? That you love yourself enough to let things go. Now, forgive does not mean forget. We don't forget things. We don't get this spontaneous amnesia and the whole thing is wiped away. But you have to put it in context. And something I have to ask you as I dig into your personal life is it coming back up. Because in moments of anger or in fights, do you ever draw for that rock to pitch it?
No.
See, and that's how you know the woman is healed.
Yes.
That is how you know the woman is truly healed. Because if you can't truly, because when you truly forgive, you don't like 6 months down the road, well, you know, when you had cheated on me, that does not happen because you can't, you're not forward, you're still there.
Exactly.
If that's what you're picking up, if that's your rock, you're still there and you have not moved forward.
You got to go through another stage of healing.
You got to go through another stage of healing. It's amazing. And you know, when Mandy said that she wanted to come on and share her stories, as I've shared with you guys before, I don't interview before my interview. I like to be as surprised as you are. I like to discover people authentically. So sometimes you see me sitting here going, what? Because some stuff I truly don't know before. But I am so impressed, Mandy, by your willingness to share and using it for good.
Thank you.
And that was the next thing we were going to talk about was how you take your pain and use it for good. And here's a prime example. Some people would push this under the rug. They would not want to mention this to a soul. Never mind. Let me come on your TV show and tell everybody what happened. Right? But you're using this experience to show other people it is possible to heal from the deepest wounds. And I personally, I try not to interject my opinion that much, but I can't help it. I personally am it's so refreshing to see a young woman who's committed to marriage and is willing to go to truly go through it and the trials and the tribulations. And you know, there might be some people in the audience, and feel free to call or to send us a message if you disagree, that would say, no, I'm leaving them out, I'm done. But we are human and we do make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And we also, too, we all have a different amount we can carry, right?
Very true.
And I think that with your faith and with the prayer, the fasting, and all the things that you did to truly reconcile, if you got to a point and you were like, you know what, I can't, you would know that's truly where you were, but you made the effort and it paid off.
Exactly.
In being able to truly move forward and to be happy and to birth this business. Now, when you say an entrepreneur, and by the way, Mandy works. Hi, Mandy, because obviously I have your name in my head. I have a friend named Mandy. Mandy works full time.
Yes.
So you work full time, but you are still working so hard at being, and she says she wants to be a full-time entrepreneur. So the idea is to shift gears, right?
You got it.
Is to shift gears.
Yes.
And so the mentoring and the speaking are not the only thing that you do, correct?
That's correct.
That is correct. And we're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. But where do you find the desire to, because if all of you who have side businesses, you know, that's like you leave work at 5 and then you start at 5:05.
Exactly.
And you finish right before you close your eyes, and sometimes you wake, it's a lot.
Yes.
And so before this happened, did you have this drive? Did you have this motivation to do this?
At the very beginning, no, because you're still within yourself, right? You're still trying to find yourself. You're still trying to fix things. But as time went on and I spoke about my situation more and I shared with some people that said, hey, you know what? I went through something similar. And I realized that I wasn't alone. And I started to encourage them. And they were saying, oh my gosh, thank you. Then I immediately developed a passion because I saw that my story, my situation, my triumph helped somebody else.
And that's what it's about. And it resonates with people. And, you know, guys, we all have stories and they're personal. We know this, but you would be surprised at what you will share that will help other people and how alone you aren't in certain situations.
Exactly.
You think you're the only one, you're ashamed, you're down, you're depressed. How did I let this happen? I'm a fool. Oh my gosh. All those things. And then you share it with one person. She's like, me too, girl.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Exactly.
So, you know, speak up, speak out. And sometimes your pain and you triumphing through that pain and getting through that pain can be the inspiration that someone else needs to be able to succeed. Each one teach one. After we come back from this break, we are going to talk about Mandy's other endeavors and the other things that she does and how to lead a positive and fulfilling life. And what does that mean? All these buzzwords. What does it mean? We'll be back after this break.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters, and for everybody who saw that little live clip on my page, thank you for joining us. I'm always here on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 with wonderful, interesting people who do different things in our community, and I'm here today with Mandy Mentors.
Yes.
And Mandy is sharing her story of triumph through difficulty and what made her, encouraged her to share with people, and it's the desire to help.
Yes.
And something you will notice with my show, the theme is the desire to help. Everybody who sits in these chairs wants to help someone do something, including myself. And my goal is to help everybody be better and to be introspective, because I think when you look inside yourself, that's where all the answers are, guys.
Yes, yes.
All the answers are inside of you. So, Mandy, you talk about how to live a positive and fulfilling life. So first of all, before you tell me that, what is a positive and fulfilling life? What does that mean?
Positive and fulfilling life is just being yourself, being genuinely happy, trusting God, living by His principles, and just genuine happiness. If I don't scream anything else, you deserve to live a life that is happy. Because if you're unhappy, you're going to make others unhappy, because that is what you are pushing out. So whatever is coming out of you is getting deposited into others, and if it's negativity, your life is going to be very sad. It's going to be miserable, and misery loves company. We all know that. So you're going to be looking for others to take down with you, and then that's not going to make the world a great place, right? So just being genuinely happy.
I like that.
And doing what makes you happy. Do things for yourself.
And it's so true. We do attract what we emit.
Absolutely.
We really do. What you put out into the world, you will find more of.
Yes.
And I meet a lot of wonderful people, so I guess that says something. But it really is the people talk about vibrations and the levels and the energy that you emit. And what you'll find is certain people are actually repelled by you. When you're really positive and shiny, there are people who have on shades, they live in the dark, and they can't look at you. So they don't bother with you.
Yes.
Sometimes I go to places and I hear people say things like, "Oh, did you see those girls in the corner? And they were so raunchy, this, that." I'm like, I didn't even see them. They didn't even register. I was here talking to this nice lady over here, and then we're going to do this, that. I'm going to buy her lip gloss, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, this is often what happens when I'm in large crowds, where certain people seem to be able to always notice the negative people in the room. They're looking for them. They're looking for them. They're just certain people that don't even register on my radar. I don't see them. So you're absolutely right about making others around you unhappy, and then attracting more people in the same state of mind and state of energy and spirituality that you're in. And the fulfilling part. Fulfilling, I mean, we could use dictionary definitions, but fulfilling is when you feel full. And what's interesting is often when you're fasting, you will feel you're full.
You're right.
You're so full.
You're absolutely right.
And for anybody who's never tried it, if you are swayed by me today and you try it soon or in the future, please let me know how it went, because I know what I'm saying sounds crazy, because it sounded crazy to me too. But it really does make you full inside.
It does.
And you, for me, fulfillment is doing something of value for others.
Yes.
I used to really think it was about me and making sure I was okay. But as soon as you start to give to others, what you find is that you are okay.
Exactly.
That's what you need to do. And sometimes it's almost like what you did, Mandy, is you gave away your pain.
I did.
By sharing it, by sharing her story, it was kind of like, I released this piece, I released this piece, I released this piece. And then you're left with the light. And the people you've released the piece to, it wasn't to burden them, but to raise them and let them know you're not alone.
Exactly.
You're not the only one.
Right.
We go through things that seem insurmountable, but you can get through.
Absolutely.
And so now you would absolutely say you live a positive and fulfilling life, yes?
100%.
100%. And so aside from working for the majority of the day for somebody else, what else do you do, Mandy?
I attend church, obviously, on a regular basis, and I sing.
Doesn't she sound like she has a nice voice?
Really?
Yes, you do. You have, I told you have a wonderful cadence to your voice.
Thank
And
you.
I notice as I scroll through your page, because social media lets you stalk people,
Yes.
that you have a lip gloss line.
Yes, I do.
And so tell us a little bit about that.
I would absolutely love to. So, Mandy Mentors, I have recently produced amazing lip glosses in all different colors. I actually have an example. So this is actually the clear one I brought because it's my favorite. But I do cater to everyone. So those who love the bright red, the mellow nude, I have all of those colors. And the reason why I made the lip glosses a part of my business, and if for those of you who already have it or have seen it on my social media, there's also a motivational quote on it that says, "She is a queen." Now, queen is spelled with a K just because I want you to know that you're different.
I like that.
You're different, and there's something about you that somebody else does not have. So that's the reason why, and I decided to implement it into my mentorship business because I realized by talking to a lot of my clients that a lot of women and even men are struggling with self-esteem, low self-esteem. And I don't know about you, Erica, but for me, if I'm getting ready and I don't have on my lip gloss, something's missing. But if I put my lip gloss on, yes, girl.
You know,
I'm ready for the road.
For me, my cosmetic, my artificial confidence is blush. Okay, that's it. For me, if I put on blush, I'm good to go.
You're good to go.
If you see me outside on a regular day in a pair of jeans and a sweater and I have on blush, it's because I needed to pick me up, okay? That is me fighting against not feeling good.
Yes.
For some women, it's a red lipstick.
Yes.
Or a high heel. Those work too. Those really work
yeah.
very well at making
yeah.
you feel, powerful and
Exactly.
good. And we need to identify and embrace the things that make us feel good.
Yes, yes.
The idea that there are a lot of people who try to shame other people for grooming themselves or be. Now, you don't want to be excessive in anything, right? You don't want to be excessive in anything. But when you find that thing, I found blush, found heels, she found lip gloss. You know what I mean? It might be lashes or whatever it is that gives you. It's just like, some men, they tell me if I put on a suit, I'm good. It doesn't matter where I'm going. I just put my suit on and it's like a shield.
I'm good.
And I feel good. Find your thing. Get to know yourself.
Yes.
Let go of what you know or you think. That's one of the things I think we get stuck in is we think we like something or we think we don't like something, but we never really tried it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Go try it.
Yes, yes.
Because there might be something new for you out there.
Yes,
And that's the other thing that I wanted to say to you, Mandy, is that I just love the fact with your story that through all that pain, and anybody who's ever been in love and it hasn't gone exactly the way you envisioned knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
that you were able to birth all of these wonderful endeavors.
Yes.
And how long have you had your mentorship business? How long have you been?
It is actually very recent. I started planning in October of 2018. Long days, long nights, brainstorming, research, fasting, prayer, again, putting God first. And in March of 2019, I finally launched the business. I had a whole launch party. It was amazing. And here I am today.
And so you found that you've gotten a lot of support?
Absolutely, 100%. There's always somebody that needs a shoulder to lean and cry on.
Amazing. And you've actually been able to turn that into a business.
Absolutely.
And I think that for, all the young women out there and the young men and the not so young women and the not so young men, look at your lives and what you've been through. And we often minimize the things that have impacted us the most.
Yes.
Because we don't want them to impact us so much.
Right.
So we make them smaller.
Right.
But if you review some of the things that you've been through in life, what you will find is that those things can help other people.
Yes.
And I really appreciate you, Mandy, for coming on today.
Thank you for
and
having
for sharing your story. And for being so honest and open and giving us a little insight into what has gone on in your life and where it has brought you and how that you got there. So guys, as a small little recap, I'm actually going to let Mandy do it. So just give us a few of the key points that got you through what you've been through and what you suggest for our audience to get to where they need to be.
So, Mandy Mentors says, trust God. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. The Bible says, cast all of your burdens and cares on him because he cares for you. Take courage and know that with God, all things are possible. Keep your family members and your friends very close so that whenever you are down and you feel lonely and you feel like, you know what, I can't get through this today, somebody at the sideline says, hey girl, yes you can.
Yes.
So that's basically my message. Just be strong. And when you can't be strong, tell yourself you are strong. Start to act as if you are strong and you'll see the difference.
Fake it till you make it.
That works too.
They say sometimes when you're in a really bad mood, just keep smiling. And after a while, it actually kind of tricks your brain into thinking that you're happy.
You're happy.
And it does work. And if you don't believe me, the next time that you're mad or you're sad, try it. Just smile. It seems a little crazy at first, but it really does work.
It does.
Mandy, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very, very glad that you reached out. Thank you for sharing your story. And for anybody who would like to contact Mandy, all of her contact information will be on the links. If you're watching on Facebook, you will be able to click on her name because she's absolutely tagged. And if you'd like to reach out to me, if you know any community leaders, people who need to be put in this seat so that other people know what they do and how they do it, please contact me or TCN Network. I'm Erica Lita. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next Tuesday here on TCN Network.
Thank you for watching.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.